Hi, this is Aisha's Creek. Welcome to today's show, and today I will be talking about my opinion on narcissism. And what is narcissism? Mainly that. What is narcissism? Well, I think, from what I've heard, what I've learned, what I've experienced about these people is narcissism, you're kind of born with it, which is called egocentric. A child which is extremely self-absorbed is called egocentric. Most toddlers are very, very egocentric, which is a youthful narcissism. But with that, most people kind of grow out of it, right? And like when I was a kid, I would always give myself the last scoop of ice cream and just say there was no ice cream left. I'm sure everyone's done it. But nowadays, okay, I probably would still do that with ice cream, but with anything else, you share it and stuff, or you give the other person the extra scoop, right? You kind of learn how to be empathetic, which I think what people are called empaths. I might, not be very ladylike and very soft and stuff, but I'm still very empathetic, although I'm quite tough, right? So, children, toddlers having tantrum in the middle of the street because they wanted a lolly and you didn't get it for them. Very, very narcissistic, right? But most people grow out of it. So you start here, and you either go either way of the fork, right? You either go empathetic, or you go completely self-absorbed narcissist. So I have met a lot of narcissistic people, and this is kind of how a day with a narcissist would look. It's my treehouse. It's just there, right? I have one big blackwood tree on the whole property. The rest of it's all paddock. So I built a big tree house on it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, doesn't look like much, but it's pretty cool to hang out on. So, let's say you are going for a platonic dinner date with a mate at work, and it's Friday. You've got Saturday, Sunday off, and you say, well, I'll meet you Sunday, right? Well, you see them on the Friday night at work, just about to leave work. You say, hey, I can't come Sunday dinner because I've got to go see my family out of town or something like that. You come up with an excuse. Or you have to actually go and do something. So you'll say to them, I can't go. And they'll be like, that's fine. And this is not over like text message. Maybe it's over the phone or in person, but not over text message because you've got evidence, right? So you'd say that. Anyway, Saturday goes, Sunday comes, and you get a message from them at night, evening, 5 or 6, saying, hey, what are you up to? Oh, just hanging with my family. And they're like, weren't we going to go on like a dinner date? And you're like, no, I told you we weren't. And he's like, no, you didn't. You really didn't. And you're like, at this time, you're totally questioning your own sanity. And you're like, shit, I must have just thought it and not really said it. You know that when you think something, the other person just won't stop talking, so you kind of forget to tell them. Must have been that situation, right? So you think, oh, that's cool. Well, I'll just rush over and quickly, get dressed and, meet up with them. So you meet up with them, and you order steak, some sort of red meat steak, for instance, and they midway through the dinner say, how's your chicken going? And you're like, I ordered steak. And they're like, no, you ordered chicken, right? And you're like, no, it's totally steak. Anyway, you cut a piece off for them, you give it to them, like, no, that's really chicken. Okay, must be chicken, and I'm just going crazy. They try to make you question their sanity to make them feel more mentally stable. That's what I think, right? Because, I don't have all the answers, and I'm not a psychologist, but I've experienced life, enough of narcissistic life. So they will try to get you to question your sanity, to make you think you're going crazy, which is like the epitome of gaslight, right? If you haven't seen the movie, check it out. It is so cool. No spoiler alerts, because someone gave me a spoiler alert and the whole movie I'm like, I know what's going on. This is terrible. But if you don't know what's going on, it's fantastic. It's like a 1938 movie based in London. It was absolutely brilliant. So check out the Gaslight movie. You can just get it on YouTube for free. That's how I watched it. Anyways, so what happens with them is they try and get you to question your own sanity, make you think you're going crazy, so that they feel more mentally stable, so that they feel like they are socially acceptable, which a lot of the time they are. They're brilliant at conversation, right? It's because they kind of know that they need to have an edge. And my dad always used to say to me, honey, you know, people can only hold it for so long. And I'm like, what does that mean? People can only hold it for so long, right? I mean, you know, being on your best behaviour, you can only hold that for like, well, you know, maybe a day or two. If you're constantly with someone, you could hold it for a day, and then the true you starts slipping through the cracks until the person that you were acting like before is no longer there, and the real you is just completely out in full force. I mean, that's what it's like being with them. You know, when you first meet them or you first just start hanging out a little bit, you know, you might hang out for like 30 minutes to an hour and they seem really cool, but then when you start hanging out with them for longer durations of time, they start kind of slipping up. And then when they start slipping up, they realize, so they go, oh, I've got to go now. Because they can kind of self-regulate when their narcissism is slipping through. I don't know whether it's conscious or subliminal, either way. So that's another thing. They will just go, hey, I've just got to go, right when, well, I guess this should also be kind of titled How to Spot a Narcissist, but we'll just stick with what is narcissism for now. I'll make another video on that, and I think I'll do a whole series on it, like little bits. What is narcissistic abuse? What is, you know, what is the true game of a narcissist? Because it must be a game to these people, honestly. So, another thing is, narcissists will only pick on people who are highly empathetic, and they will make up these magnificent stories. I have met people that have told me that they have been abused, and I, of course, if someone says, oh my gosh, my parents are really horrible to me, I'm going to go, you poor thing, of course. And they'll just weasel their way into your life through your heart, and in your head you're going, this is really kind of very eccentric and over the top, all the stories they're telling you. But you think, who would say that? Who would make that up? Like, honestly, horrible stories in detail, and you're like crying, and then you find out that it's all been a lie, like an absolute lie, and you're like, that's so hurtful, because I really felt for this person. I gave them my time, you probably gave them money, you probably put them up in your house until they found somewhere better to go, and they're like, bye bitch, you know, I don't need you anymore, so I'm going. Another thing, a narcissist will only help you if it benefits them in the long run, okay? It's very, very conspiratorial. They're just like, is this going to can I use this against you? Am I going to get laid from this? Are you going to, you know, feel like I'm a better person? The dog again. My dog's a gang stalker. Total. She's a gang stalking bitch. Every time she doesn't go anywhere near me unless I'm making videos. And she's all up in me. So, I've completely forgotten what I was doing. Where I was at, sorry. So, they will only do stuff if it is to benefit themselves. So, if they think that they're going to get kudo points from someone, if they think they might get laid from helping you doing something, it's very narcissistic, is sexuality. Like, really, I don't know what's with that. It must be another kind of mental thing. They think that if they get laid a lot, that it makes them a better person. You know, like, socially. And they're very good at manipulating, so they get laid a lot, right? Like, a lot. But the thing is, it's just, that's all they can do. That's all they can do is just hook up with people, because they don't have the stamina, the social stamina to actually have a relationship. So their idea of a relationship is hooking up with some drunk skank in a pub and walking away. That's their idea of, that's the most of relationship they're going to have, apart from their poor parents or anyone that they manipulate enough to keep around, right? Because some people can just, you know, when you see someone, they're like, oh, you know, I don't spend time with that person anymore. You're like, but they were such a nice person, you know, because you didn't get to see everything. that was inside that relationship. I put this turf down the other day. My friend did her backyard because she works a lot and she doesn't like watering. Well, she doesn't water anything. So she put all this turf down. She had some left over. So it's all just like little bits. It's all just like just little strips that were left over. And I'm like, I will totally turf my seating area with this. And it actually worked out great, considering I'd never laid turf before. And so that's not just really good green grass. It's turf. And I don't know what's with people saying turf is not cool. It is freaking awesome. If you've ever tried to keep green grass, yeah, it is so hard. You've got to put a sprinkler on it twice a day. So turf is really good. Where was I? So these people don't know how to hold relationships. They don't know how to be around people. And you'll find people that will say, oh, I decided not to hang out with that person anymore because they won't give you an excuse. I just stop hanging out with that person. And you'll say to them, oh, why? And they'll say, oh, I don't know. You know, and you'll be like, they're so nice. You'll find out that they were very, very narcissistic, right? So some people just have the audacity to stop hanging out with narcissists. Like, how dare you? And for some of you very political people will be like, I know that was the Ben Shapiro interview with the, I can't even remember his name, the Pommy guy. And he's like, yeah, I don't believe that was real, sir. And the other guy's like, Ben Shapiro, how dare you? Yeah, so I take off that every time I say that sentence. I take off that political argument, which I'll probably leave the link in the description. It was quite humorous. Anyway, so you'll stop people. Some people can just see it, whether they're also narcissistic and they've kind of got their narcissism radar on, like, yeah, you're narcissistic douchebag, gotcha. Okay, I don't know. But I just couldn't spot it for so many years. I just get reeled in, time wasting. Oh my gosh, like they won't come and harass you during winter when it's snowing and miserable. No, they'll harass you while it's a productive season like summer. Last year, I lost everything. All of my harvests, all of like my just raspberries, they all died. I had to propagate them again, right? Because I hung out with someone and they lied and they stole. Mate of mine, right, told these stories and said, oh, my dad's horrible to me. He makes me work for hours and hours and hours. And I said, what does he make you work? What does he make you do? Oh, fencing. Okay. Right. Well, he came out here once and I was actually fencing. And he said, oh, let me help you. And I'm like, okay. Now, I'm not a very good fencer, like pretty crap fencer. But oh my gosh, if you were working 14 hours a day fencing, you would not do a shitty job like that. I don't know if you can see, like, what this, look at that, like with the strainer, that should be up here, right? And this, well, shouldn't be bowed like that. And he also broke my gate. He, I don't know, can you see that post right at the end? He pulled it too far and didn't put the strat in properly, so now my gate won't close properly. So that's a lie, that his dad was overworking him. And then I'd never met his dad before. I met his dad, and his dad was like really nice, kind of weird but nice. I'm like, this isn't making sense. Anyway, he said, I want to put some of my stuff in your shed. And I'm like, okay then. And then I went to my pop's place, and then I come back and my shed's completely open and fucking ransacked, like not even a pin left in it. And I'm like, what happened here? And he's like, I came back and got my stuff. And I'm like, was the drop saw and the chainsaw your stuff and every other tool in my shed your stuff? He's like, oh yeah, I just kind of got mixed up. Okay. Checkout number 2. I'm almost at 15 minutes. I don't want to have to get verified, so